Everybody has advice about how to live with someone, how to make a marriage work, how to raise children, how to keep the peace in a house where two people share a bathroom without starting a small war every morning. There are thousands of books about it, entire television shows dedicated to it. You can't go 5 minutes without hearing some expert explain how to live with another human being. But almost nobody sits you down and teaches you how to live with yourself. And that's a real problem, because sooner or later, whether you plan for it or not, you're going to spend some time alone. Maybe you're alone right now while watching this, sitting in a room that feels a little too quiet, wondering if this silence is what the rest of your life is going to look like. Or maybe you're not alone yet, but the thought of it scares you. Maybe you watched your mother live alone after your father passed away, or an uncle, or a neighbor down the street, and you thought to yourself, that looks like a slow kind of loneliness. I'm here to tell you something different. Living alone doesn't have to be miserable. In fact, if you learn how to do it right, it can become one of the best chapters of your life. Not despite the quiet, but because of it. I live alone now. I have before as well, for long stretches of time. Then life changed and I didn't, and now I do again. Both times I had to learn how to do it properly, because living alone is a skill. It's not something that just happens to you like bad weather. It's something you build slowly, like building a house. And if you build it well enough, you might not even want to leave. So let me share 5 things with you. 5 simple habits that completely change the way I experience solitude. Not theories, not fancy philosophy, just real things I do every single day that turned living alone from something I endured into something I actually enjoy. The first thing, and this is the foundation of everything, is that your mornings must become sacred. Now I know that word gets thrown around a lot. People talk about morning routines all the time. Wake up early, journal, meditate, drink some strange green juice while thinking about productivity. That's not what I mean. When you live alone, the most dangerous moment of the day is the first minute after you wake up, because there's no one there. No one rolling over beside you to say good morning. No one making noise in the kitchen. No children running through the hallway. No leftover conversation from the night before. Just silence. And if you're not careful, your mind will rush in to fill that silence with every sad thought it can find. Loneliness, regret, fear, old memories. Your brain will deliver them like unwanted gifts before you even leave the bed. So you have to move before those thoughts take over. For me, the routine is simple. My feet hit the floor. I slide into the same pair of brown leather slippers I've worn for years. Slippers I actually made myself. Then I walk to the kitchen and prepare coffee in an old mocha pot I've had longer than most people watching this have been alive. You fill the bottom with water. Pack the basket with finely ground coffee. Screw it together and place it on the stove. Then you wait. And while that coffee slowly begins to bubble up, I don't check my phone. I don't turn on the television. I don't think about news or tasks or problems. I just stand there. I listen to the gentle gurgling sound of the pot. I smell the coffee before I even taste it. And that moment, standing in a quiet kitchen waiting for coffee, is the holiest part of my day. Because in that moment, I've made a decision. I've decided that today belongs to me. Not to grief, not to old memories, not to whatever chaos is happening out in the world. To me. If the first thing you do every morning is grab your phone and scroll through other people's lives, you've already given away the most valuable part of your day. Take it back. Protect the first 30 minutes of your morning like you would protect something precious. Coffee, tea, stretching, looking out the window, whatever you choose. Just make it yours. The second thing that helps more than people realize is this: talk out loud. Yes, I'm serious. If you live alone and go entire days without hearing your own voice, something strange begins to happen. You start feeling less real. The house becomes too quiet. The walls feel closer. The rooms feel bigger. So talk. Talk while you cook. Talk while you put your shoes on. Talk to the bird outside your window. Talk to the television when someone says something ridiculous. I do it all the time. My wife Gloria used to laugh when she heard me shouting answers at the television during quiz shows. She'd say, "Sal, they can't hear you." And I'd answer, "I'm not talking to them, I'm talking to me." Your voice is proof that you exist. Don't let it disappear. Sing if you want to. I sing in the kitchen all the time, and trust me, nobody would pay to hear it. But I sing old songs my mother used to hum, songs from the radio in the 1950s. The point isn't the quality. The point is filling your home with the sound of life. And here's something practical too. Call someone every day. Not text, call. You don't need a long conversation. 5 minutes is enough. Just hearing another human voice keeps the connection alive. The third thing, and this one might be the most important, is to feed yourself like someone loves you. When people start living alone, the first thing that disappears isn't food. It's the respect for the meal. People start eating standing over the sink, cold leftovers from containers, no plates, no napkins, no table, because they tell themselves, "No one's watching." That sentence is dangerous, because the moment you believe things only matter when someone else sees them, you start disappearing from your own life. After Gloria passed away, I went weeks without cooking. People brought food. My daughter brought food. Neighbors brought casseroles and pasta. That's what people do when someone dies. They bring food because they don't know what else to offer. And I ate it standing in the kitchen, barely tasting anything. Then one night I caught my reflection in the dark kitchen window, an old man eating with his fingers. And I heard Gloria's voice in my head saying, "What are you doing?" Gloria treated every dinner like it mattered, even if it was just leftovers. She'd set the table with placemats and glasses and napkins like she was hosting royalty. She used to say something I'll never forget. Every day you're alive is a good enough reason to use the good glasses. So I started cooking again. Not big feasts, just simple meals. But every time I set the table, plate, napkin, glass of water. Because the act of sitting down to eat properly is the act of respecting yourself. The fourth thing is keeping your hands busy in the world. When you live alone, there's a gravity that tries to pull you inward. The couch gets comfortable. The door feels heavier. Going outside starts to feel like effort. But there's a very thin line between solitude and isolation. Solitude can be peaceful. Isolation slowly poisons you. So you have to keep moving. I walk 4 blocks every single day. Not fast. I'm not training for a marathon. Just 4 blocks down the street, past the bakery, past the park where men play chess, down toward the water and back. Some days I talk to people. Some days I just nod. But I'm out in the world. I'm hearing voices, seeing faces, feeling the air. And I work with my hands. When I was younger, I made shoes. Leather work kept me sane during some of the hardest moments of my life. Now I still work with my hands, even when the leather doesn't really need fixing, because your mind behaves better when your hands are busy. My neighbor Clara is 91. She lives alone and spends her afternoons doing 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles. She told me once, "When I'm looking for the blue piece, I'm not thinking about being alone." That's the secret. Give your mind something better to focus on. And the 5th thing, the hardest one, is making peace with the empty chair. In my kitchen there are 2 chairs at the table. One is mine. The other used to belong to Gloria. Before Gloria, it belonged to my first wife. Now it's empty. Some people would say to get rid of it, move the furniture, remove the reminders. But I kept it, not as a shrine, not as a symbol of sadness, just as part of the room. Because that empty chair reminds me of something important. It reminds me that my life was once full of love. And the emptiness you feel after someone is gone is not proof that your life is empty. It's proof that your life once held something beautiful. Over time, the pain softens. The quiet room that once felt like a cage begins to feel like a canvas, and you get to decide what goes on it. I'm an old man now. I've buried people I loved, watched neighborhoods change, seen whole chapters of the world disappear. And yet, I'm not lonely. I'm alone. Those 2 things are very different. Loneliness is a wound. Being alone is simply a room. And what you build inside that room is entirely up to you. I make my coffee. I talk to my plant Margaret. I call friends. I cook my meals and eat them properly. I take my walks. I listen to people talk at the barber shop. I keep my hands busy. And every once in a while, I sit across from that empty chair and feel grateful for everyone who ever sat there. That's not survival. That's living. And if you're watching this right now in a quiet room, wondering if life alone can still be meaningful, let me tell you something simple. It can. But you have to build it. Sacred mornings, your own voice, meals that show respect for yourself, hands busy in the world, and peace with the empty chair. 5 small things. That's all it takes. Now go call someone. Then make yourself something good to eat and sit at the table like it matters. Because it does. And so do you.